Thank you, everybody. It's great to be in Glasgow, first of all, this morning, and I did notice the sign on the wall as well, which is University for Common Good, and I think that's really poignant to have that on the wall today. So I'm delighted to contribute to this event. Child poverty is close to my heart as an elected member and as a COSLA representative for community wellbeing, but also as a child with lived experience of child poverty as well. But there are very few councillors, I suspect, who will not agree on the priority that child poverty needs to be given. And I think this feels like an important time for this conference. The United Nations envoy has delivered a damning report on levels of child poverty in the UK. And we are seeing the changing of the guard in the UK government, or at the time of writing we certainly were. I'm not quite sure what's happened since then. But of course there's the prospect of consequences on low-income families arising from Brexit, whatever form or shape that might be. Your guess is as good as mine at this moment in time. Among the many recent poverty reports is one from the Social Metrics Commission on measuring UK poverty, and I was struck by some of its analysis. 1 in 5 people in poverty live in a family where no one has any formal qualification, and that's twice the proportion of all other families. 1 in 5 in poverty live in families where adults believe that people in their neighbourhoods can't be trusted, again twice as many as other families. And 1 in 10 of those in poverty rarely or never feel close to others, significantly higher than twice that for others. Poverty is most often characterised as being just about the challenges to making ends meet, but there are of course additional serious corrosive impacts on people and communities, on well-being and life expectancy, on prospects and life chances, on functioning and sustainable communities. But despite alarming signals across the UK, we do have much to be optimistic about in Scotland. First and foremost is a priority given to explicitly tackling child poverty, our commitment to national targets and scrutiny of progress, some good work done by the Scottish Government, already mentioned in using its devolved social security powers to alleviate the hardship on vulnerable households, and a commitment to introduce a new benefit to support low-income families as well. The statutory footing for our Scottish Poverty and Inequality Commission, we should recognise the role of campaigning organisations too in pushing forward this agenda, and also make sure that we include the voices of those with a lived experience of poverty in our policy and decision making and how we use resources. We've also seen the establishment of local poverty commissions to challenge what we do, and we are quick to combat complacency, which is such an important point. So I was very pleased to host an opening event for local child poverty leads at COSLA in December last year. Some of you may have attended, but we were able to discuss a new requirement on local authorities and health boards working with partners to publish reports on their actions and future plans for tackling child poverty. We were able to promote the role of national experts to take forward this work, and the achievement of articulating those efforts should be recognised, and I'd like to thank everybody involved in pulling together the local child poverty action reports. The local child poverty action reports clearly show the considerable work that's already been done at a local level, and for those that have been able to read, or the ones that have been able to get through, it's clear that they reinforce the critical role that local authorities have got to play. As local leaders uniquely placed to coordinate a response to support children and families, local authorities are providers and funders of essential services. They provide benefits and crisis support. They're placemakers. They provide and fund direct community support. Local authorities have a key role through what they can do to develop their local economies and support people into sustainable, fair employment. An ability not just to help people with the circumstances they're in, but to lift them out of poverty. And from those reports, I wanted to highlight just a few of the innovative and impactful work that I'm aware it has went on in some local authorities, and really looking at small and big authorities, rural and urban, different approaches to address different local challenges. So the first example that really struck me was the well-established and embedded community activist panel in Glasgow, which has provided insights on poverty interventions to help tackle child poverty and across big ticket poverty themes such as the local economy, transport and housing. And from the large to the small, and Shetland has done some great work on reducing the cost of public transport. And through their partnership working, they can now provide free bus and ferry travel to support people who move in employment. And they present an inspiring example about a single mother who travelled through this scheme that was able to seek volunteering opportunities and develop her CV. The transport also enabled her child to access the school bus service, which meant that she was able to have more flexibility in terms of employment opportunities. And she's now secured a permanent job and sustained it over 3 years as well, which is fantastic. In my own local authority of Midlothian, we have also done some work helping low-income families to manage over school holidays, like many local authorities has. The new Battle Learning Community Summer Sport, Food and Fun programme supported 56 families with a full sports and creative arts programme, a core element of food and cooking and income maximisation support. And I know that sustaining and developing this type of programme is not always easy. It does need dedicated commitment and partner coordination in the face of challenging budgets and increasing demand. And finally, with the example, I wanted to mention and congratulate Dundee and Glenrothes and Fife, who have become Scotland's first living wage city and town respectively. No mean feat, and one that requires not just the usual public and third sector partnerships, but stretching our work across the business community on a shared endeavour with benefits for all. So we must invest in the unique contributions local authorities can make. This is necessary if the national child poverty targets are going to be held in, and none of this can be achieved overnight. We need more direct local funding to enable serious step change. And by investing in that unique role, we could do more to learn from each other and further afield, taking the very best of practice and seeing how we can adapt that for local circumstances, and we can root out what is least impactful too. We could strengthen how we routinely include community voices to inform all that we do and how we do it, and to challenge us when we're getting it wrong. Investment could help us with more valuable administrative and other data to target where we do things and how we do things, and how we can do that better, making sure that our preventative measures are sitting alongside necessary crisis support. We can do more to ensure that those services and agencies that can make the biggest difference, like our economic development, employability and transport functions, see tackling child poverty as a core responsibility of their work too. And we can do more to ensure that our frontline staff are empowered to engage their clients on poverty, but we need to invest in their training and support them so that we can do that confidently and impactfully. We need investment in our capacity to coordinate a complex landscape of contributors so that our work is complementary. We're all aligned and pulling in the same direction and more than the sum of our parts. But we absolutely need to be able to resource and sustain local essential services in the face of budget challenges, recognising the other challenges that lie ahead, as well as what happens here and now. And COSLA, are very pleased that the Scottish Government has recognised child poverty as one of the key areas for its current spending review, and we'll hope that local government will be fully engaged in discussing what needs to be protected and what more is needed so that we can really shift the dial on that agenda. We want to hear more from all of you on what resources you need to make a significant dent on child poverty, and that is, I guess, the challenge of today. But I wanted to finish by making commitments on behalf of COSLA. Through our governance arrangements, we will help to develop the awareness of council leaders and selected elected memberships to promote their local leadership. We want to listen to local concerns and represent the best interests of local authorities, and our political and officer discussions with Scottish Government as we look to forge a national-local alliance that respects what all parties can bring and is mindful of the need for adequate resources to support bold aspirations. But I think together we can achieve a better, brighter future for Scotland's children, and I guess that's the challenge for today. But thank you very much. Thanks.